You know that "Don't Tread on Me" flag? I'll be honest, I kind of forgot it until the MAGA crowd brought it back. And that's when I started looking at what the flag really meant. So here's the truth. That flag is officially called the Gadsden flag, named after Christopher Gadsden, a colonel from South Carolina in the Revolutionary War. It was created in 1775 as a warning to Britain, mess with us and we'll strike back. It was meant as a symbol of colonial defiance, independence, and that don't mess with me attitude that America loves to brag about. And sure, in that context, it absolutely was about resisting imperial power. It's part of that rebellious spirit that founded this country. But let's not kid ourselves about the man behind it. Christopher Gadsden wasn't just some freedom-loving patriot. He was a wealthy merchant who made a fortune as a slave trader. He talked big about liberty while buying, selling, and exploiting Black people. He believed in freedom, but only for people who looked like him. And that contradiction is baked into that flag's history. A warning of defiance for colonists that simultaneously ignored the bondage and violence propping up their so-called freedom. And you know what really struck me? When I was researching Susan B. Anthony and their suffrage movement, I found photos of the suffragists in the early 1900s carrying that "Don't Tread on Me" flag. I guess for them it was a way of them saying, we will not be silenced, will not be denied. They reclaimed it as a demand for political equality at a time when the government didn't consider them full citizens. That was real, and it was righteous. But that's the thing about symbols. They don't stay fixed. They pick up meaning from everyone who waves them. And today, that flag's been co-opted by militias, anti-government extremists, white nationalists, and people screaming tyranny while ignoring systematic oppression. You see it flown right next to Confederate flags. You see it at Trump rallies at January 6th, turned into a mascot for people who only think that freedom applies to them and theirs. They've turned "Don't Tread on Me" into a threat, not against government overreach in general, but against anyone that they see as an other. It's messy, right? Because sure, some people see it as anti-authoritarian, anti-tax, don't mess with my rights. But you can't ignore the context. You can't pretend that it's just about freedom when it's been used to intimidate, to exclude, to draw lines about who counts and who doesn't. It's been a symbol of resistance for the suffragists fighting for the vote, and a symbol for armed groups threatening violence to keep their version of America pure. That's not an accident, that's American history in a nutshell. Freedom for some, oppression for others, all under the same banner. "Don't Tread on Me" is as American as it gets, because it embodies both the promise and the hypocrisy. If you want to fly it, know what you're carrying. The spirit of rebellion, sure. The suffragist demand for equality, and the slave trader's warning. The right to resist tyranny, and the history of deciding who even counts as us. Because that's the real story. And pretending that it's anything simpler is just lying to yourself.